everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. We have a new face in the house. His name is Sebastian Williams. Sebastian Williams is part of the Wednesday night crew. Sebastian, get that thing off and say hello and tell everybody where you're from. Give them an overview where you're at.
What's up, guys? How you doing? I'm Sebastian Williams. I'm from Palmyra, Pennsylvania. I go to school at Bishop McDevitt High School. Play football. I'm the quarterback right now, and I also play lacrosse as a midfielder.
All right. Well, look at this. You can make some friends quick if you're a lacrosse midfielder, and of course you got a Pittsburgh guy, Marky Pilson. He can be a big help to you.
I was going to say Palmyra is central PA. It's near Harrisburg, is it not?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Yeah, I'm in Lancaster.
I'm also from Shippensburg, so there you go. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm talking out of Lancaster right now. So yeah, I'm about a half-hour drive away from him.
I'm familiar and all that. So try to get us some sponsorship from Weiss Markets, will you?
You two are going to have to get connected since there's some Pennsylvania ties there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we have a busy agenda there. I want to make sure everybody gets everything they got to get in. We're going to get right to the topic of the night. We're going to talk about breaking down the Sweet 16. I have the brackets. Everybody can just tell who you think is going to come out of them. You got Duke against St. John. That'll be a pretty good matchup. Michigan State against UConn, one side. So, and then we're going to go Iowa against Nebraska. Big Ten matchup there. You've got Tennessee against Houston. You're also going to have Arizona against Arkansas, Texas against Purdue, Michigan against Alabama. That's a pretty interesting game there. And let's see, you got Iowa State. I'm trying to remember who they're playing there since I can't really read it, but Candy will take it up by the time she's called 7. So, all right, Mark, why don't you break down the brackets who you have coming out of the respective 4 that will lead up to the Final 4?
Well, I don't have the brackets right in front of me, but I would have to say right now it just seems that chalk is the way to go. So when you have a 1 seed, a Michigan, an Arizona or something, it's difficult to pick against them. I will tell you that I am looking forward to Friday night's Tennessee-Iowa State game simply because I am a Rick Barnes fan and would like to see him make the Final 4, but I don't know if he has the team to do it. The Nebraska-Iowa game is, to me, very intriguing, if no other reason, for the new Nebraska-Iowa rivalry, brought about by the Big Ten Conference. Nebraska joining that in recent, about a generation ago, I say in recent years. I've been in there for quite some time now, let's face it. But, that ended their rivalry basically with Oklahoma. And I don't think that Nebraska-Iowa is as big as what Nebraska-Oklahoma was back in the day. But now all of a sudden, how times change. You now have a border rivalry. It's now in basketball. It's quite intriguing. And but I'll tell you, I would have to take Nebraska there. Iowa, I think, I don't know how they're doing it. This was a 500 team in the Big Ten. Right. They were finished 9th. I'm not even sure they should be in the NCAA tournament. And they're in the Sweet 16. Shows you the big conference bias.
Okay. So, all right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to make this topic easier. Okay, everybody, why don't you, I'm sure by now I've given you the topics early enough. Why don't everybody try to get me their Final 4? How does that sound? Does that make things easier? Marky, give me your Final 4 out of this group.
Again, I don't have the brackets right in front of me. I'm sorry. But I would take basically, like I said, Michigan. I'm trying to remember, go from memory. Michigan, Arizona. Let's see here in the. I'm thinking, 1 seeds, because we just look at the NIL era and how the demise of the mid majors. And, you can take and say, well, Texas is an 11 seed or whatever, but I would just go with the larger seeds right now. The higher seeds, just seems that that's the way the tournament is going.
That's fair enough. Okay, Tony?
For me, let's go UConn, Michigan, Houston, Arizona, Final 4.
Okay, I like that. Okay. Sebastian?
For mine, look at the brackets right now. I'm going to have to go UConn. I like Arkansas. I know they're a 4 seed, but I like them getting to the Final 4. I like Michigan. then I'll probably say Houston.
Okay. Okay, what about you, Cody?
I'll do UConn. I'll say Alabama, Purdue, and let's go with Houston.
Okay, Cliff?
I'll go with UConn, but St. John's is going to beat Duke. Everyone's going to shock them there. But
Okay.
UConn's going to come out of there. I'll go with Illinois in the South, and Iowa State, and Arizona.
Candy?
Let's go UConn. Let's go Illinois. I'm going to be a Big Ten homer, I guess. Purdue and Michigan.
Okay, I guess that leaves me next. I'm going to call me a homie if you want to. I'm going to take Michigan State out of that 4. I'm going to go with Tom Izzo. It's pretty hard to go against him. Gosh, it's hard to go against Houston with Kelvin Sampson doing over there. He nearly won it last year. Not going against him again this year either. You know what? I've got to go with John Calipari for the upset over Arizona, and I'm going to go with Michigan. We'll pick this narrative up next week, and we'll go from there. So with that said, okay, let's talk about some of the money that's involved with this Final Four, because the 5 most expensive rosters in the NCAA basketball tournament consists of Kentucky with $20 million, BYU with $13 million, Duke at $12 million, Arkansas $11.5 million, and Louisville $10.5 million. Okay, we'll start off with you, Sebastian. Money doesn't buy a championship, and some of them are already out. What are your thoughts about what we've got here with this group?
Well, can you elaborate on the question more a little bit?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Could you elaborate on what?
Yeah, obviously, right now Kentucky's out. They spent the most amount of money, and I don't think BYU's in there either. So your 2 top spenders aren't there.
Yeah.
And Louisville's not there. So of the 5, you got Arkansas, Duke remaining. So money doesn't necessarily buy you a championship in this particular year.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think the coaching really matters with a program, and I think just breeding your players, getting guys to work and go in day out and out practice. Obviously, like you said, everyone wants the big names. Everyone wants the top high school recruits are in the transfer portal, the top guys. But I feel like the coaching really matters, and the camaraderie of the team really depends, even especially when you're getting to those late rounds of the NCAA tournament.
Okay, Cody.
No, I agree with Sebastian. It's really all about a coaching system and chemistry with some of these players that you have on the squad. Just because you have, the most, you spend the most doesn't mean you have the best team necessarily. I mean, the Yankees, and we've all looked at all years past on all the big spenders. Just because you spend money doesn't guarantee you a championship.
Yeah, I agree. That's Kentucky. That's for sure. Cliff.
Like they were saying there, it's with the money. I mean, it's well, I guess this is what happens. I mean, they put so much. There was already money going into it, but now that they opened up the floodgates with the new rules, and I think it'll get them pretty far. They might get the berth, but yeah, there's absolutely no guarantee with that, and I think the schools are going to have to learn a hard lesson. It might take a few years, because it's all kind of new now with the new rules with money.
Hollywood.
Yeah, money can't buy chemistry. Money can't buy chemistry, but in the case of somebody like BYU, I'm sure they made the $7-8 million back off AJ Betances. So money wise, it keeps the revenue flowing, bringing in these good players. But when it comes to championships, Kentucky wasn't doing. They've constantly tried the one and done situation with Calipari, and it hasn't worked. So that's no surprise there. BYU, they got the number 1 player in the country. You probably can't name 2 other players on BYU. So that cost a lot of money for a team that isn't going to win. So that really doesn't surprise me to see this, that the money isn't buying championships for these guys.
Well, I mean, Mark Pope definitely came into this Kentucky season with a lot of money. Obviously, he's being heavily scrutinized because of it. Marky?
I totally disagree with everything everyone has said. Do you know why High Point has been the one mid-major that has made noise? Because they have a $5 million budget, NIL budget. That's the biggest in mid-major basketball. Okay, Kentucky with $20 million, they won't win the NCAA tournament this year. Okay, fine. That's the Dodgers not winning the World Series, falling somewhere in the playoffs. We know Kentucky is going to be good and make the tournament year after year and be a contender. Maybe this year they were only the 7th seed, but let's face it, Kentucky wins more than Chicago State. This is, yes, it's about the coin. It's about the coin in baseball. It's about the coin in college basketball. And if it isn't, when was the last time the Pittsburgh Pirates won the World Series or, the Citadel even made the NCAA tournament?
But just making a tournament isn't the point for those schools. Being the 7th seed is a failed season for Kentucky. Like that's not success.
Okay, so they didn't get a return on their investment. I think in the future they will.
Yeah, but they spent $22 million this year.
They've spent $22 million this year. They were a 7th seed. Maybe Kentucky, that's a low. By Kentucky standards, maybe the 7th seed and getting knocked out in the second round isn't exactly good for them. I get that. They're a blue blood program. That being said, that's not a horrible season. And you might want more, but, they didn't go 13-17. They were a contender and all this. We can discuss if they were, what Florida was in the SEC. I know they got knocked off by Iowa or something like that, but I'm, defending that for the national champion until, the tournament ends this year. Certainly, you get the point that I'm trying to make. I don't think they can. Oh, well, we only were the 7th seed and won one game. Oh, let's drop the payroll and see what happens. I'll tell you what happens. They'll continue to fall short if they do that.
Okay. All right, Candy, what's your take on all of this? Marky, I like the way I love the energy Marky brings to the show.
Yeah.
Marky, great stuff, man. I love your energy. If you could get louder than I am, then you definitely be better, but you're doing awesome, brother. Marky Filson.
Is it going to be exactly the highest payroll will always win? No, but you get what you pay for in any walk of life.
Gotta love the energy. All right, Earl Kinsey in the chat room. I like Iowa State to win it all. His Final Four is Duke, Houston, Arizona, and Iowa State. And then he says, how much did the Tar Heels pay this year? Obviously, they're done. That's all we need to know. And we'll talk Hubert Davis next week.
Didn't we just say that Duke had the 3rd highest payroll?
Yeah. You believe that?
I mean, they're in it. Presbyterian isn't. It seems pretty simple to me.
I don't know. I don't have that information. Candy, go ahead.
I think as a college basketball, if you're a men's basketball star going into college, you're going to look at NIL, but you're also going to look at the program you're going into. What is the likelihood that you will get to the next level? Because that's obviously your goal. Most of the guys that are playing college ball, they want to be in the NBA. So who is the best team, coach, school to get them there? And I think that's part of it. Yes, NIL makes a difference. Is it gonna mean that the highest paid is always gonna be the number 1 seed? No. It also takes your teammates and you being, because let's face it, basketball, out of a lot of the sports, especially compared to like baseball, it's more about you gelling as a team and working as a team together, because you're constantly, playing. Again, there's no I in team, and that's the one thing that people forget. But does money matter? Of course, money buys talent, but it does not buy the championship. Let's face it. Football didn't do it. If you looked at the
if Duke wins it this year, how could you deny that it happened? And I'll tell you, the team that wins it, like I said, is not going to have a $200,000 payroll like East Tennessee State does.
True. Well, for whatever it's worth. And I know
And you talk about High Point having a mid-major. You realize that they have a steakhouse on their campus as one of their food program.
Yeah, I mean, they've got wealthy alumni. I mean, there's money behind High Point. That's why they're a good mid-major. That's why the Big South Conference, which used to always be one of the worst college basketball conferences there were, was 21st this year, which isn't great shakes, but it was propped up ahead of some conferences that always used to look down from a mid-major standpoint, such as the Southern, because of the success and the payrolls, dare we say it, of a High Point or even a Winthrop. Now, I mean, to me, yeah, I mean, there's a situation right there with High Point. They did win a championship with money. They won their conference tournament. They won their conference. They won 30 games. They won an NCAA tournament game, which mid-majors are not doing anymore, and nearly beat Arkansas to go to the Sweet 16. I mean, I just don't understand how you can possibly say, well, money doesn't buy championship. I mean, like I said, just because Kentucky had an early fall in the tournament does not mean that some, Boston College is going to be, which has come out that they seem to have, compared to their ACC peers, a smaller budget. And that's why it's taking some time for them to get a basketball coach in up there at Chestnut Hill. The situation is that, there's a reason why they haven't ever made the Final Four, despite the fact that, they've been in the ACC and they've had some fine teams over the years and such. I mean, I just find, yeah, if you have a big budget, you're going to win. Ohio State has the biggest athletic budget in the NCAA. That's why the Buckeyes are good. I mean,
Yeah, there's no fault in Ohio State's budget. Let me just say this, though, Marky. We're talking basketball and football. Don't tell me that in hockey, because Western Michigan won the whole thing last year with practically nothing, and they're back in the Frozen Four this year. So hold on, let me finish, okay? Because my voice has a little bit left, not a lot, but it has a little. Western Michigan, to me, won it all last year, and they were using Dollar Tree money to do it last year. So. But we're talking basketball. We're talking high revenue sports. It's a different animal.
Yeah, I love the Frozen Four. I'm a hockey guy. And all this. But let's face it, there aren't that many teams playing on that scholarship Division I level as compared to college basketball. So I'm sure Western Michigan doesn't have, their players are not, pulling in millions on their hockey team. I don't know what it is off the top of my head or anything, but right. I would also imagine that if they had the opportunities, they would probably be playing minor league hockey and having signed a big bonus with an NHL franchise, and that might still be on the way. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of a niche that a Coastal Carolina can win the College World Series or something like that. Of course, That was before the NILs. I understand, these things do happen and all that, but does that refute that the wealthiest program is just wasting their money or something? It's ridiculous. I shouldn't say, does it refute that? Does it say that one championship by Coastal Carolina in college baseball makes a high budget for a baseball program irrelevant? Of course it doesn't.
Well, then let me add a little more light to this whole thing, Marky. Number one, the guy that led Kentucky to the last championship is with Arkansas, by the way, who spent $11.5 million, John Calipari. And I'll even add another point to it. He just recently won his 900th game. So wherever Calipari goes, he wins. He's won 900 games. He's moving up that coaching wins pretty good. So, hey, Kentucky's done what they've done, but Calipari is a lot of people would like to see him win in Arkansas. Forget about their football program. This guy simply wins everywhere he goes, and now he's doing it again with Arkansas. Don't want to get into your parting shots and my town, but I thought you put up a good case in this one there, Bilson. I'm impressed. Don't worry, we're just getting Bilson Motors started here on the Sports Exchange tonight, everybody. So we're going to revisit a trade between the LA Rams and the Detroit Lions. where the Rams received Matthew Stafford and the Lions ended up getting Jared Goff, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, Nefito Melifonwu, Broderick Martin, defensive lineman, and of course defensive end Josh Pascals. Some of these players are obviously picks that were sent to the Lions by the draft. But Marky, well, we don't need to spend forever on this, but who do you think won the trade? Obviously, the Rams got the Super Bowl, and the Lions got a lot more players than actually came with a game of it.
I mean, for the Super Bowl, I'd say the Rams did, but I mean, I really think this is the trade that helped both teams.
Okay.
I mean, if it's 51 here, 49 the other, so I mean, Goff had his career, I think, really resurrected in Detroit. I think Detroit 2 years ago makes the Super Bowl, if it isn't for strategic decisions by their coach going for it on fourth down up by 17. You know what I'm talking about, and all this. And I don't think Campbell's ever gotten the criticism for that he should. But the situation is, I really think, who won the trade? I think it's, I mean, pretty much one of those, hey, it helped both teams.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay. Hollywood?
Yeah, I got to agree with Marky. When you think about winning the Super Bowl, of course, you automatically feel like that's the team who should have won. But if you think about where Detroit was pre-Jared Goff trade, this was they elevated them to new heights. They were actually relevant. And Matthew Stafford probably solidified himself as a Hall of Famer, so that helped him individually. It's very close. Interesting to see how this plays out going further, because we thought that it was going to be short-term success for the Rams, and it seems like Matthew Stafford's still hanging on and still giving them good years, and Jared Goff clearly has more time to go. So as of right now, I'll go 51-49 because the Super Bowl weighs a little bit more.
Okay, no, that's I like your observation, Hollywood. Cliff?
Oh, absolutely. This totally turned around Detroit. It totally turned them around. Yes, of course. They got the Super Bowl, and that's probably what their main focus was when they got Stafford. Goff has been a lot better. He showed a little promise when he first started with the Rams, but he just kind of fell off. And in addition, I don't know if Goff would have been as good without those other guys. And of course, the draft picks and all that helped with that. It's a good trade, as they always say, is helps both teams. LA slightly. We got to see though. They turned the culture around. Detroit is not the mega joke they were for years. And so let's hope the next couple of years are going to be really integral to see where they go. See if they can get up to that next step. I was rooting for them a couple of years ago because they never won. So you're gonna root for Detroit.
Cody?
Well, like I said, when this trade happened, I'm a Rams fan. I was happy to get Stafford, someone that I know that could help lead this team to a Super Bowl, and he did that his first year. I didn't like all the draft picks we traded for him, but like I said, you got to sometimes, as Les Snead said, F them draft picks and win a Super Bowl, and that's exactly what he did. So, but I agree, it is a 51-49 kind of trade where it helps both teams, But at the end of the day, is you make trades to win Super Bowl, and Detroit hasn't done that yet, that the Rams have, and we also MVP season that nobody expected from Stafford as well. So, yeah, I mean, I still think the Rams won this trade, but not by much.
Sebastian?
I gotta agree with all these answers. I feel like definitely right now, as you look at it, these past couple years that the Rams have Stafford, I feel like you can say they won the trade because they got the Super Bowl. They're building their team still. We'll see how many years that Matthew Stafford has left. But I think in the long run for Detroit, I think it was really able to build their culture, add a lot of solid weapons to their team. I know they didn't live up to the standards, like getting to the playoffs and everything this year. But I think in the future, you'll see Detroit getting back to those playoffs, making a deeper run. And I think that in the future that we'll see Detroit possibly saying that they won this trade.
Okay. That's a good answer too. That's Sebastian. This is this guy's first time out, doing a good job, Sebastian. Keep it up. Looking forward to having you on every Wednesday night. And if you're ever available on Tuesday at 8:30, we could bring you on then too. Just keep that in mind if you're ever available during that time frame. All right, Candy.
So obviously I look at it from the eyes of the NFC North division. Did it improve the Detroit Lions? Absolutely. I think it'll be interesting to see how the Lions do these next couple of years, because I think a lot of it was Jared Goff with Ben Johnson as OC. And I
Right.
think Dan Campbell has cost you guys with his going for it on fourth and whatever so many times. But if you're going to talk about winning the trade, the way you talk about quarterbacks and Hall of Fame is how many Super Bowls do you have? So I think you have to say, in that regard, LA won it, at least at this point. They won the trade because they did get the Super Bowl. If you don't go to the Super Bowl, how many times are you going to be in the Hall of Fame? We've talked about Aaron Rodgers' career in Green Bay. He only has one Super Bowl win in Green Bay, and they've said that we wasted his career, that we should have had many more. So I think if you're going to talk about who won the trade because they won a Super Bowl, you have to pick LA.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll make it unanimous here. The 51-49 to me makes a whole lot of sense for sure. I've always loved Matthew Stafford, anyways. When I did play fantasy football, I loved him. He's a gunslinger, and let's face the reality: Brad Holmes is a genius. So with all the draft capital, he ended up obtaining to get a lot of those players. But in the end, it all comes down to the Super Bowl. Goff got him a game short of it, but they did win 2 more playoff wins than they had in ages, and they got that monkey off their back. We'll stay with the Lions thing because the Lions announced that they've signed linebacker Damone Clark. Why am I bringing that up? Because it actually goes into the approach that this offseason they're signing a lot of their guys to 1-year deals, and they're focused on building through the draft, obviously, during the season. So, Marky, let's talk about not only Damone Clark, but obviously they're building through the draft. And, what are you going to do? I mean, you have bargain basement free agents that you can get that are good players, and it'll be interesting to see how the strategy is. But Damone is the most recent guy that they brought in that came through our services, Damone Clark. All right, Marky, take it from there.
I'm trying to get the topic here. Damone Clark and free agency. I'm sorry, I've lost
okay.
track.
Damone
Right?
Clark is a guy that they recently brought in, but the Lions' philosophy this offseason with Brad Holmes is,
I see. And the 1-year contract.
Right now, no, that's okay. He's doing a lot of 1-year contract, shorter deals, and adding a lot of players is what he's doing. So a lot of players in Damone Clark. Now you can plug it in.
Yeah, it seems like with the Lions that they are gearing up for this year. And also, I mentioned before about Campbell, and always going for it on 4th down. And yeah, you like the aggressive play until it's stupid. And a lot of times when he does, it's stupid. And I gave you the example of the NFC Championship game a couple of years ago and all this. And I'm just wondering if it is a situation where, okay, let's give him all the talent we can here and then see what can be done. Let's see right here, because otherwise, do we want to go on and be competitive but kind of be held back by a coach that I think can rub people the wrong way? Right. I love the. I like, hard rock music and all this. But when it came out, that Campbell is this huge Metallica fan, you just looked at him and you're like, yeah, that's about right. And you also got the idea where, that could grow old kind of quickly. And you just wonder if it's like, okay, is the act in its final stage right now? And we're going to commit to 2026, but the future, maybe not. That's sort of how I think.
Tony?
Yeah, 1-year deals definitely seem like Campbell is wearing thin on Detroit. There's been a lot of talk about that, even jokingly. And when there's small little jokes and gestures in media, normally there's a hint of something I tend to notice. So he'd probably be next to Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long, let's say 2027 season, if they're not successful this year. Which is tough. Coaching seems like a job you get to eventually be fired. But it's also a testament to them believing in their scout department too. If they believe that they can build through the draft, that they don't have to spend that much money. They can actually find hidden gems in the third, fourth round that could be productive starters for them as well. So that's also a smart business strategy, because if you can find the good labor for cheap, why not do that, right? A third or fourth rounder is going to be a lot cheaper than somebody in free agency when you're paying the free agency tax of 10% more of whatever they're worth.
Well, there's no question Tony has nailed a bullseye on this. This will be one of the most important drafts the Lions have had under Brad Holmes, and he usually does hit and score and with his draft track record for sure. And we'll see where the hidden gems come in. Good point, Tony. Off to you, Cliff.
Yeah, lots of 1-year deals. The writing could be on the wall, but I don't know. There's some of the people they signed, like Greg Dortch, Isaiah Pacheco. They brought back Teddy Bridgewater. Really? Okay, yeah, that's great. If Goff goes down, Bridgewater's gonna come on. It almost seems like they want him to fail. But to bring in Bridgewater to back, if he goes down, oh my gosh, I don't want to put all my eggs in that Bridgewater basket trying to throw passes to Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's probably on the short leash, as we say. And hey, I don't have Marky, don't give him a hard time because he likes Metallica. There's nothing wrong with Metallica.
No. That's a benefit right there. I mean, hey, that's the thing. But you understand where, I go up to the game is on and the non-fan is in here, and I'm like, see that coach, guess what his favorite rock group is? I don't know, Metallica. And they just look at it and say, yeah, that makes sense. Now that you mention it and all this, trust me. I mean, I was watching the Headbangers Ball when Adam Curry was hosting it.
Okay. Adam Curry. Oh yeah, he did host it. I forgot. Ricky Rockman.
Yeah, I remember when Mickey. Well, I've interviewed Ricky Rockman twice. The archives are on YouTube. You can go listen to them yourself.
Okay, sounds good.
It's funny. Well, I'll tell you, it's funny how you mentioned. Okay, but. Now that you brought that up, don't be surprised if the Lions are going to be quarterback hunting in the draft if you're indeed relying on Teddy Bridgewater. Cliff, I'm glad you brought that up. So now we have a person named, yes, what's up, Scott? It's me, Nexus. I had to change my name, ACCL. Good to have you in here, my friend. That's all I can tell you. Okay, Cody?
I 100% agree with what Tony was saying earlier. It just seems like Campbell's on the hot seat. I mean, it seems like there's no long-term plan if you're just signing a bunch of 1-year deals unless they're absolutely going for it this year. That's the only other thing. So, but if it doesn't happen this year, then yes, I think Campbell's on his way out of Detroit.
Yeah, scary, that's for sure, when you think about what he's done there. But obviously, they had a window, and it looks like it could be closing, so it is an important year. The only thing the Lions are going for him is they're playing a last-place schedule. And it's hard to believe 9-8 gets you in last place in that NFC North. Okay, Sebastian.
Yeah, I definitely think with a lot of things that have been going on with Dan Campbell, a lot of his controversial calls on fourth down, people are starting to see it and get a little iffy about it. So wouldn't surprise me if people are starting to shift ways from him, and he could be trying to get the 1-year deals to try to put something together last minute. And like you said, also with the draft as well, maybe I've seen over these past couple years, a lot more, I feel like, hidden gems, as someone mentioned, that have been found and in the draft and produced as bigger stars in the league. So maybe they could be focusing on that while not paying as much money, but you only see in the future, and whatever their plan is, hopefully it works out for them.
Yeah, good points all the way around. Okay, did I get everybody?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Candy.
Forgot your wife there, man.
No,
Can't do that.
I just need to make sure. All right, well, that's okay. Go ahead, Candy.
Scott, you originally talked about Damone Clark, right?
Right.
And that was the part of your question. Part of the reason why they had added Clark is that they needed to give depth to their linebacking corps, because due to free agency, Alex Anzalone signed with Tampa Bay. Grant Stewart departed for the Rams. So they needed some more backup in that area. As far as Campbell goes, I don't think this is his 1 year and done. I think what they're doing is they're trying to smart money, because they don't know how far the cap is going to keep going and who they're going to get in the draft. So I think some teams are going to be less likely to give long-term commitments to people that they're unsure of, especially. And so I think that's what one of the things Brad Holmes is doing. He's smart normally with the money there. And he's giving contracts to the people that he really believes deserve them. And he's shortening up others because he wants to see the product on the field and how everybody gels and what rookies they bring in for next year.
Okay, well, let's go to some media news because obviously a few of us are in it. CBS Radio News has announced that it is shutting down and ending a national news service for nearly 700 radio stations. The decision means that all positions within CBS News radio team are being eliminated. Marky, I'm sure you have some thoughts on this one. Obviously, it's an industry which is close to what we do.
It's sad, and it's a lot of tradition going on. I mean, a legacy of Edward R. Murrow, and I can remember listening on the radio to, say, Charles Kuralt give a commentary or for 2 minutes or something. It was always enlightening, and that sort of thing. But I do think right now, Mutual went away, and nobody, radio still goes on. When I was a teenager, I remember once asking a DJ at the local top 40, you had to have news at the top of the hour. And I was like, why does a top 40 radio station have to have news on at the top of the hour? I'm listening for music. I'm not listening for headlines. And it was just, well, it's the way, it's because they had always done it that way. And then eventually, listen to a music station now. And generally, you don't have the top of the hour news like you used to in days gone by. So I think the industry is changing. I think a lot of radio news is rip and read. And, do we go out and have real reporters? Maybe a few big stations in the big cities. But other than that, so much of radio is rip and read. And I think that also includes the networks when you're listening top of the hour to a news talk radio station or so. And I'll just even give you this. When was the last time you heard a real news report on a sports radio station? Oh, the sports news, sure. But a news report, you don't. And it's just like I said back, 40 years ago. Why are we having news on at a music station? I'm listening to music. We've always done it that way. It's not 1943 anymore, and I do. It's a sad milestone, but I think it's part of the changing trends and all that. And I think also with talk radio becoming very right wing, you'll see a lot of Fox News, that sort of thing, picking up top of the hour broadcasts, rip and read news headlines, and that sort of thing.
Okay, Candy.
Hold on. I'm dealing with an issue right now. Go to someone else before, please.
Okay, Tony, go ahead.
This is, in a nutshell, what Mark was saying. This is the evolution of media and radio, and we're losing, a lot of stuff. But that's just kind of what happens with it. That's pretty much all I got for that one.
Cliff.
Oh, I've got with this. Oh my gosh. It all comes down. I'm going to be a prof here. Comes down. Started with the 1996 telecommunications thing. It totally changed the rules of ownership, what you can own, how much you can own, and they said, "Oh, it'll cause it might cause problems with viewpoints and all that kind of stuff, but the technology would be great." And yeah, that's what wound up happening. But here now, it's like people aren't listening to the radio as much. They're going to take their phone. They're going to stream on there because they can stream that there. I'm not happy about it, and I'm still going to listen to radio. It's still probably going to be there, but everyone's doing podcasts now. We were talking about the Washington Post and them cutting. They're cutting everywhere. They're cutting everywhere across the board between technology, between investing their money. So this is going to keep happening. I come from television. I just my station that I last worked at in York, they got rid of directors and all of their crew. They have no directors for the television shows. They got one of my students who never directed anything. Oh, you can do it. She works the desk. They don't care. They don't care what they're putting on the air. They just want to like give you stuff, as much as they can. It's not about accuracy anymore. It's more about just giving you a bunch of stuff on the air and content and just throwing it out at you and see what sticks.
Cody.
Cliff literally took all the words right out of my mouth.
Sorry. I
No,
don't like
perfect.
stealing other people's thunder. I hate that.
No, and honestly, you said it better than I would have. So, yeah, I just say, ditto with what Cliff said.
Well, what do you expect? He's a professor. He's supposed to say stuff like that. Candy,
Oh,
you ready now?
I'm sorry.
You're a professor, Dawson, right?
Yeah. But I was working in the field. I worked in TV news for 16 years too. So
Well,
yeah.
that helps too.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm giving you a compliment.
Okay.
The
Thank you. I
chat is
appreciate it.
Can you handle a compliment?
Yeah, I can handle a compliment.
All right, I'm giving it to you.
Keep yelling at me, Scott. I love
I
when you yell
love
at me.
going at you. Because this is just my normal voice. You're used to it after all these shows. Don't worry. Don't take it personal.
No, that's good. Oh, hey, keep it going. I'm
Compliment.
I can handle it.
All right, good. All right, Candy. You ready now? Now that I gave him his loud compliment.
Sorry, Candy.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Let's face it. In today's day and age, it's all about how many views, how many listeners. What can I get? Scott, you're one of the first people. We wake up in the morning. How many views did we get on last night's show? We're all about how many views, because that's what everybody wants. It's how many clicks, how many likes, how many people are interacting. It's not necessarily about turning the TV on. Most people don't turn the TV on for news. Most people don't open a newspaper either, because there aren't newspapers these days. How do you get your media? And it's as short clips, little bites. They don't want a novel or to be listening to a long story. They want short, quick, concise. And let's face it, as far as how many broadcasts, if you do watch on TV the news, how many times are we talking about sports? Local sports is gone. Like, you can't find local sports on a news broadcast. You got to go to the internet. You got to go to streaming and stuff like that. So.
And, I think that's a huge mistake that the local sports, you say, have been de-emphasized so much. To our friend in Central PA, I used to love watching Channel 27. What is it? The ABC affiliate.
HTM.
Yeah, and you know why? Because they put sports on before weather. And the weatherman was Chuck Rhodes, who I know you'll know, who is, somehow had a national following just being in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. But, they had, and when was the last time you saw a TV station have sports on before weather? But that was how it was. And that's why I always watch that station. And to this day, I'd like to see a little analysis, a little bit more, and all this. I don't want to just see 2.5 minutes of high school, poorly shot high school highlights and a rundown of scores from the local high schools or small colleges as well. And that's so many ways how TV sports news has devolved, as they just give up everything to whatever other source they wish. And that's a mistake, I think. I think it's a huge mistake. And look, sports sells. So why isn't it more of a prominent feature on newscasts? Makes no sense to me.
Well, I will jump in on this. Sorry. But I do know, like, the stations around here, the big thing that they'll do is the high school football kind of thing, but it's usually like a show on Fridays. It'll be like a half-hour show, and that's what they'll do. But yeah, because that gives them extra money, they can get sponsorships from local things. So that's the big thing around here.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and they do that a lot. The high school football Friday night, all that. Yeah, if the local TV station doesn't cover it, who will? I get that, and we've come to expect it. But what I'm also saying is just using your area out there. It used to always be that the TV stations, be 27, 21, 8. Forgive me, I've gotten some of the call letters there. WGAL and Lancaster, I remember.
Yeah, I'm 15 minutes from that. Yeah.
But yeah, they would promote we've got the best Hershey Bears coverage. Hershey Bears, that's the minor league hockey team in Harrisburg. All right. And when I was a kid, that's all they had in Harrisburg. They didn't have the Senators. They didn't have the Central Penn Piranha or whoever else. So you had, there's a reference, right? So anyway, you had, that was what they really based so much of their coverage on, and they were going to go in, and it worked so well for them. Like I said, at 15 minutes into the sports game, here was Greg Mason. He was going to give you the rundown and all that. I think it says a lot about the interest in sports in Pennsylvania. I really do. And where, you live in Western PA, Eastern PA and all that. They'd even, take the truck out to Philly when when they could. Now, I mean, I doubt you would ever have a Harrisburg TV station. I could be wrong, but a Harrisburg TV station go to Philadelphia to cover the Eagles or the Phillies. And they used to do that, but now they'd say too much budget.
Yeah. If they do, they probably wait till about the playoffs. That's when they'll do it, not for regular games. So if they make the playoffs, they'll probably make and they don't have to get a truck anymore. It's all backpacks now.
All right, so let me jump in here real quick, okay? I miss Paul Harvey. I want to hear the rest of the story, people. I used to look for that when I worked at WXYZ ABC Detroit back in '79. Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. But you know what? I'm going to Sebastian Williams, who I probably heard any of this stuff because he's young. But that's all. Give me your take of all this insanity. And then we're going to give Marky an opportunity to do his My Town and then his parting shots because I know we're on 7 minutes with this guy. Go ahead, Sebastian. What's your take out of all this insanity that's probably long before you and your parents were even born when all this crazy stuff was going on? All these
definitely
700 youth people being long gone.
Definitely is before my time. But even just like seeing around like all this stuff, it definitely is a big like loss and unfortunate circumstances. I feel like even like me being a teenager and like being around teenagers all the time and stuff, seeing that people are more shifting towards like digital platforms. Like you got all the online apps, like, I mean, Spotify, you can stream anything you want to listen to. Pandora, I mean, things on Instagram, TikTok, you name it. There's like different apps and people's attention spans are going down. And I feel like with the news, like people don't want to be like fed all the long stories anymore. So they want to see like Miss Candy said that they want to see views. They want to see what's going on, what's popular at this point, and focusing not even like of the quality of the information, but like what's popular, what's going on out there, what can grab someone's attention. So that's what I have for that topic.
And you know what? That's a great answer coming from you. Anybody your age means TikTok and Instagram. You're definitely appropriate for the new generation there. All right, Marky, we're going to go to you exclusively right now. I'm putting you on the spot twice, okay? Because I only got 5 minutes or so. Sure. And you give me 7 since these are both headed your way. All right. All right. Number one.
Talk about the A's uniforms. Okay. We're at
well, because you don't have time. You want to give me 5 more?
Here we go. No, I would say what's going on locally and all this. Like I said, right now I'm in Florida.
My town.
Okay. So let's say my town is Johnson City, Tennessee, which it has been in the past. And I do a podcast relating on East Tennessee State sports. I right now and say what's going on is I know that their basketball coach, Brooks Savage at East Tennessee State, and they won a Southern Conference, but he is obviously looking for greener pastures. And a lot of people are talking about him as a candidate at Georgia State. But just to give you some he did a recent interview that really said where he indicated in not so many words, but he felt like he was working with less of a budget than his peers, and they haven't renewed his contract, which only has 2 years left and makes him one of the lowest paid coaches in the conference after winning the regular season title there. I think he's looking to leave, and a lot of people are talking about him as a candidate, like I said, at Georgia State. Also in the Southern Conference, I'm hearing, has it come out that Will Wade, I mean, that he's going to LSU? Is that a thing now? Has that been official? I was seeing there was that earlier in the afternoon. Is that going to happen?
I don't know. Time will tell.
It does. What I'm saying is that if NC State needs a coach, I would not at all be surprised if they looked to Furman's Bob Ritchie. So
Okay.
that's two things to look for. I mean, NC State will have a host of suitors if they do need a coach and all that. But that's kind of been the way they've gone. And boy, is Ritchie's stock up. And who knows if he could take promising point guard Alex Wilkins with him. Ritchie's also been talked about at Boston College, and Wilkins is a Massachusetts native. So you might want to look at that there. And it seems like for the longest time, the Georgia State and Boston College jobs have been open. So we'll see what goes on.
Okay, so that's your My Town. Now give me your parting shots. This is an open-ended question where you can say whatever the heck you want. You call me anything you want. I've heard it. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Now, parting shots in My Town. Go ahead, Marky. That's your last segment before you sign out.
Yes. Thanks, guys. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, is that your parting shots?
That's it. I just look for that in the news. Hey, that's my parting shot. Just let me take care. Look at the status where ETSU and Furman may be needing new basketball coaches soon. They may be going to larger programs, including perhaps in the ACC.
All right, well, Marky Bilson next Wednesday night here on the Sports Exchange. Thank you very much, Marky. Have a good night, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, now there are 6. Now that Marky's out there, I love this guy. He's one of the most animated, knowledgeable people on the planet. Glad to have him on the broadcast for sure. All right, with that said, okay, let's talk about NBC, which is launching a new version of NBC Sports Network called NBCSN. And that was actually designed for NBA games for the first time in 23 years, and now it's obviously can be used for MLB games. Katie, some thoughts about the new NBCSN?
As everybody is evolving and trying to come up with their own version of ESPN and sports and giving you different channels, why not NBC? Like, throw their hat in the ring and stuff like that. They're trying to, like I said, more platforms for more places they can put content, and that's what they're doing. So I'm not surprised. They got to, compete with Fox Sports, ESPN, CBS, all of them. So,
Okay, Cody?
I mean, it's good that they're bringing a sports network. I think it's going to help, branch out and everything. So I'm not much of like I said, I'm probably like with Sebastian. I'm usually on TikTok, Instagram, with all my news and everything like that. I'm usually not watching live TV. I'm usually streaming all my sports, But the Ducks, we have a special streaming app that we can watch everything. You just have to watch the same 8 commercials every game, 30 times a game. But I mean, if this helps bring in more sports content, then that's better for everyone.
Okay. Sebastian?
Yeah, I think since there are so many streaming, other places that are doing live sports and showing those coverages, I think they're just like Miss Candy said again, just putting their hat out there again, really just getting involved in it. So yeah, that's all I really have for that.
Thanks, Earl. We appreciate you being in the chat room, buddy. God bless. We appreciate you every night. You're a big friend of the program as well. All right, go ahead, Hollywood.
Yeah, nowadays, content is basically currency, right? So you want to create as much content as possible.
Right.
And you want to kind of get your own space in this world because it's the Wild West in a sense. So you want to kind of stake your own claim of your space of content and try and grab exclusive rights. NBC, they already have what they probably do, combine everything with the Bay Area, the Massachusetts area. They have all those rights with it. So they'll probably have the exclusive content. If you start talking Celtics games, basketball season, you're talking Giants games, MLB season, and that's good stuff that people want to tune into. So it makes sense.
Okay, Cliff.
It always comes down to money, advertising, getting people's attention, ratings of whatever hits, all that kind of thing. It's all about money. All the programming we have, we know why we have that programming, because they want you to watch whatever commercials or advertisements. That's what it all is. This is something I always have to tell my students. The programming's there so you watch the commercials or get the advertisements. That's why it's there. That's why you get the ratings. That's why they can charge $5 million for a 30-second commercial. And yeah, the way we consume media is totally different now. With the streaming, everyone's trying to get that piece of the pie, and that piece of the pie is different now. It's that you used to have times, locked in. Now you can watch it when you want to watch it. I know sports can kind of be, you can watch it recorded, but it's not the same. But you can stream it on your phone. So they have to evolve. And there's another aspect with Peacock, and they lost out on because they had rights to the WWE. Okay, and so they wound up doing a new deal with that. So they lost that. So they got to figure out what else are they going to do. So I mean, everything that happens, they have to figure out a new way. And I don't even know what it's going to be like in 5 years. We're going to have all new technologies and watching different things. So they got to evolve, and that's what they're trying to do.
Okay, so hellos out to Tracy from daycare and Nathan Helm. Appreciate you being in the chat room. The only thing I'll say about the topic is this: you add more properties, you need places to put them. You have the NBA and MLB on there, and who never knows what else they're going to come up with as well. The timing was right to bring it back, and I'm glad they did. So let's talk about the fact that the A's have unveiled an alternate jersey for 2026 that says Sacramento across the chest. Okay, Candy, your thoughts about the A's going out there, bringing an alternate journal, what the actual city they're actually going to play in, Sacramento, at least for the next couple of years.
Tradition is tradition. I mean, it'll be interesting when they move because they won't be allowed to keep that same logo and everything. But yeah, I don't have a lot more. I'll pass it on to
Well,
Cody.
bottom line is you're in Sacramento, and the reality of the situation is an alternate jersey that puts Sacramento on it. I mean, I think the topic speaks for itself. They had the Athletics on last year. Now they're acclimating the year 2 out in Sacramento. Cody?
So they went from just the Athletics to now the Sacramento Athletics. Is that their official name now? So if they move to Vegas, do they keep the Athletic name, or do they have to go something completely different?
No, it'll be the A's. For
Oh,
sure.
well, I mean, just it would be nice to see how they disappoint another city like they did with Oakland and everything. So, but just adding a Sacramento to the name, I mean, it isn't going to do really much good. Just stay with the A's and write it out until you move to Vegas. I think that was probably the best way of doing it. I think it's more just, hey, we have jerseys that say Sacramento on it. Buy it.
Exactly. That's all it is marketing. You know that as well as I do.
I'm not buying it. I can tell you that. As an Angels fan, I ain't buying that jersey.
That's okay. It's Cody, you already nailed it, pal. It's marketing. It's buying it in Sacramento. And who knows what it'll be worth in the Sacramento sports scene down the road. No doubt. But you're pretty much all over it. Okay, Sebastian.
Yeah, I don't have too much on this topic. I'm not a very big baseball guy, but yeah, it does just seem like a marketing tactic, trying to get people to buy their jerseys, get people to possibly go to their games more often. I think I saw for their April 4th game, they're giving fans those jerseys as well. So yeah, just a marketing tactic, I believe it is.
That's exactly what it is. You may not know enough about baseball, but you know enough about marketing to get that one right. Okay, good stuff. Okay, Hollywood, you're a baseball guy.
Look, Nike makes a new jersey every year for one of these teams. Why not commemorate the short time that you're in Sacramento? It is the short time, but you want to still make it feel like home for the time that you're there. So it makes sense. It was kind of weird that they didn't want to embrace it, knowing that they were going to be there more than 1 year. Last year, they put the bridge on the sleeve. So this is just another way to say, hey, if nothing else, you're never going to forget the 2 years that you were in, or 3 years, however long that you were in Sacramento. It's a nice little bookmark in the journey of the Oakland Athletics, or the Athletics in whole as a franchise.
Cliff?
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually. It's sad to me. It's like, okay, yay, super duper. We're acknowledging we're gonna play here for a couple of years, and we're gonna be gone. I've been going to Vegas last handful of years, and every time I stay at a hotel, the first hotel I stayed at was the Tropicana, and that's where they got rid of and stuff, and that's where I usually stay for a convention. I'm going there in a few weeks. And they're ready for baseball. But yeah, I saw it. It's not very exciting. It's just as Sacramento. It's gold with green. Yeah, great, awesome. Yay! Sacramento had a major league team for a bit, and all right. And are they gonna make them their keep them as their minor league team? They're gonna throw them that bone.
Maybe.
Does anyone know?
I mean,
No.
I think the A's are the minor league team. I mean, I
Well,
can't really talk.
yeah, but
I can't really talk much as an Angels fan. I mean, everyone's a minor leaguer except for Trout.
yeah, but it's AAA. Still have to have a AAA team. So
Well, the A's do have a AAA team in Vegas, that's for sure.
yeah. But when they
So
move
they're
there,
just going to switch.
yeah, it's to Sacramento.
I don't know. No, Sacramento has a team in AAA already. They're affiliated with the Giants.
Oh, okay,
It's just
All
the
right.
Giants owner. It just so happens that the Kings owner is friends with the A's, and they're letting him use their place for a few years. So
I
That's
gotcha. All right. I never knew how that was arranged. So thank you for clearing that up.
no problem. It's okay. Well, like I said, I was in Jersey for a couple of years. Make it looks like they're temporary home, anyways. They can acknowledge it. It's all like Sebastian said. It's about marketing. Well, you do have one hockey topic of the night, since Cody's not going to have any of them tomorrow, and of course Cliff is in here, so it gets a little hockey taste as well. The Columbus Blue Jackets have turned their season around since hiring interim head coach Rick Bowness on January 12th. Columbus 17-2-4 since the hire last. They were in last place on January the 12th. They're now third in the Metropolitan Division as of March the 20th. Okay, you know what, Candy, if you're not, are you comfortable on this? Or you want to defer?
Oh, I'm going to defer on this one.
Oh, yeah, we'll let people defer on this one and let the hockey people take over so we can move the show along. Go ahead, though, Cody. You're not deferring.
Oh no, I'm definitely not deferring. No, I mean, I just want to know, what is Rick Bowness doing out there in Columbus, because this team was not pretty at the start of the year.
I'm sorry. I heard what that. I can answer that.
Go for it.
Okay, I heard the story. I'm sorry, but I heard the story. It's like he walked in. He's like, "You guys are giving up way too many high quality shots from the slot. We're going to be much more defensive. That's not going to happen anymore." And they didn't realize it. Guys didn't even realize it. We're going to bring it around, turn it around, and then we're going to be much more defensively responsible. And then you go and attack and go up there. So that's what the turnaround was. That's what turned it around. It's kind of amazing to me that Rick Bowness did it, because he's jumped around all over the place. He was actually the Islanders. That was like his first head coaching spot many years ago.
He's been everywhere, Cliff. Okay.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's been a long time, but he got his for I think his first head coaching position with the Islanders.
Yeah.
He was much younger back then.
No, I'm not. Rick Bowness is a great coach. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't be where he's at now without being a great coach and everything. The thing that shocked me the most was, yes, normally when you fire a coach, you bring in a new coach, you usually get that new coach bump, but they usually last 10 or 12 games. But this has lasted a lot longer, and because I think what probably really helped is also the Olympic break, because maybe he really got to work with the defense part. Because usually you can't just tell a team, hey, do this, and they're going to do it right away. It doesn't usually work like that, but for them it did, and that's the weird thing, especially with the condensed schedule this year with the Olympics. There's not a lot of practice time, so for them to switch everything like that so fast, good on the Blue Jackets. I'm rooting for them. Especially since the Gaudreau passing the season before and everything. I was rooting for them to hopefully make the playoffs and everything. But just the turnaround they made, that I know my dad wished the Kings would have done their coaching change a lot sooner than they did, and I don't know why they waited so long. But no, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they're looking like a good team, and I hope they make the playoffs, because Columbus deserves some playoffs. Because I mean, every time they're in, it's always entertaining too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
More power to Bowness. He's done a really phenomenal job over there, especially when the season was all but gone. So and I'll tell you one thing. I've seen a game in Columbus before. I'll tell you, they're good. They're good Midwestern hockey fans. They really are. And since they're the only major sports team there, there's no competing for their marketing dollars there. Outside of Ohio State. So if you can win there in Columbus, boy, I'll tell you one thing. You're standing high for sure. So Cody, Cliff, anything else you want to add before we move on to other stuff on the
Yeah,
topic?
it's just everybody was kind of for a while there winning in that division because yeah, I'm an Islanders fan. You can give me your sympathy now. But yeah, they collapsed, but it's everyone was kind of like winning. And, if Pittsburgh would win, they would win. And there's a lot of points in there, and then you look at like the Pacific Division, and see the point totals there, and we look over there, like we'd be in first place, and we're not even in.
Hey, my Ducks are in first place. Calm down.
Okay,
I'm happy.
Yeah, but I mean, points wise, it's ridiculous. But yeah, everyone was winning, and yeah, I give them props. I don't like. Well, my team is out of the playoffs now because of that. Because they collapsed, and I knew they would.
Season's not over, Cliff.
They're done. Hey, I've been watching since 1980. Yeah, I know, and it was good then, and I know how this works.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. So we have our two hockey experts chiming on it. Let's get back to a couple more topics I want to get to. The Big Ten obviously hasn't had a national championships in basketball since 2000. There were 9 teams that actually started the tournament. There's still 5 left with the drought. So, and he's certainly one of the longest droughts among the major conferences. Candy, do you see the Big Ten finally breaking through this year and snapping that drought? And the last team that won it in 2000, by the way, was Michigan State.
I can see that. I could see if Dusty May really gets Michigan on keeping them on the right track and getting the most out of their players. I could see them having a deep run this year.
What about you, Cody?
To be honest, I'm not much of a. I don't even know who's in the Big Ten, so I'll defer this one. So
That's okay. Not a problem.
I don't follow college as much.
All right. What about you, Sebastian? We kept you out of hockey, but your college basketball is your thing. Go ahead. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I think Michigan being in the Big Ten, I think they can definitely make a push, especially being the 1 seed coming out. But I'm not sure if they get it done this year. The SEC is looking strong. I feel like, as always, they've been on the rise up in college basketball. But I think they definitely have a shot at the national championship. So we'll see in these next couple of weeks with all the games playing out. But anything can happen in March, so we'll see.
Great stuff, Sebastian. Great first act from this guy. I love Sebastian. He's going to fit in with this group and any other group I plug him into. Good job, Sebastian. I'm proud of you. I didn't know what to expect.
Thank you.
And I know I'm getting tonight. I'm getting a good announcer. Just like I found Tony or he found me, I got another hidden gem here. We're going to be hidden when I get done with him. Right, Tony? See how far you've come along. What are your thoughts about this, about the Big Ten, and they snap the drought?
It's crazy that I didn't even notice it's been that long because Michigan State always competes, and it seemed like every presidential term Izzo gets to the Final Four. So I'm just assumed that they have won, but it's crazy that they haven't. But this won't be the year. I think this actually another drought snaps this year, and I think a team west of the Mississippi wins. Give me Arizona taking it all. So I'm sorry, Big Ten, not this year.
This guy, I like it. All right, I'll take it. All right, Cliff.
Not really a big college basketball guy, but step up your game. Get more money. All right, get more money. Like Marky was talking about, spend more money, and then you'll get there.
All right.
I love Cliff. That was hilarious. I love that.
Hey, just think, Cody, you get Dave Bradley, and now you get Cliff Neal every Wednesday. It ain't getting better than all the people you get to meet.
I think we've had Cliff on Thursday before.
Now you get him every Wednesday night.
Oh,
now you get him every Wednesday night. And I'll tell you, Cody, you've come a long way. We got Dennis Maruk, we got Cliff, and then we got Dave Bradley. Look at this guy. The longer you hang around, the more people you get to meet on these days. Yeah. All right. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about before we go to my town parting shots. Jason Benetti. This guy has now worked for ESPN, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, TNT. We call it the Broadcast Grand Slam. Candy, you know about Jason Benetti, right? He's done it all. What are your thoughts about Jason Benetti?
Good for him. I mean, to be able to say you've worked for all the networks, hopefully each one has been what you have felt is a step up and promotion. But kudos to him because he's not that old, and to have done all of that, he really advanced his career and made the most out of it.
And what's good about him is he's done it despite having cerebral palsy as well. It's cerebral palsy. I actually met him last year or 2 years ago. What a super nice guy, Jason Benetti. And obviously with the Detroit Tigers prior to that, Chicago White Sox. And he will not be broadcasting the Tigers opener with the Dodgers and Diamondbacks because he's got his NBC gig. Okay, Cody, I know but this guy broadcasts everything, so you should be able to give me something here, Cody.
I got nothing, but you say it's the broadcast Grand Slam. I call it the broadcast Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. How about that? He collected all the stones, all the broadcast things. I don't have much on Jason Benetti except for just the Thanos reference.
No problem. Not a problem. Okay. I know you'll have parting shots in my town, though. All right, Sebastian.
Yeah, I don't have much, but I mean, it shows his good, really good versatility, showing that he can do it all around and everything. He became like the lead play-by-play announcer, so it's a big accomplishment for him, and the versatility is unmatched. So yeah.
Well, you just said a mouthful again, Sebastian. Versatility is the name of the game, and that's what this guy has, and that's why he's at the broadcast. And let me give you some good words of advice here, Sebastian. Okay, take it for what it's worth. Okay, don't sell yourself short. You're doing a heck of a job. I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. But versatility is the key, and that was the word I was looking for. Okay, Tony.
Yeah, and kind of to echo what both of you guys said, piggyback off each other. The versatility is what's keeping him employed, right? Like he can't do one job because he has another one, and being able to do different things will keep you employed because sports have off seasons, right? So like if you can only cover basketball and basketball's in off season, what are you doing during that? So it keeps him around, and that's how he can complete the Grand Slam.
And that's what he did. All right, Cliff.
Well, we've already talked about there's so many more things now, and I don't know how long his contracts were on those players. He might have wanted to jump around, maybe signed contracts that weren't, all that long. He wanted to give himself some flexibility, and yeah, that's what all this industry is now, even for announcers now. It's more than just being an announcer. It's now how to do a lot of different things, and you just have to, and that's the whole thing. When you're trained to do sports, yeah, you may know a specific, but if you're going to be a real sportscaster, you have to have some knowledge of all. And he's really embraced that. And in this time where we've got all these things, it might have been a little bit easier now because you have so many different things. People are coming and going. There's so much change in the industry. It might have been a little bit easier in this situation. And obviously his, other issues that I give him mega kudos on that. Getting beyond the cerebral palsy there. So that he gets, oh my gosh, that's even so much more about it.
Okay. All right. Well, now let's go to our segment called My Town. Candy created this and Fire Up. We're bringing it here on the Sports Exchange, and since she created it, Candy, let's go to your town, my town. What do you got?
So when I created this, I created it for either the town that you currently live in or the town that you're from. So we all know that I'm from Wisconsin. So I'm going to start out Brewers opening day. The first pitch will be thrown out by two Wisconsin athletes, two stars that are from Wisconsin athletes. Both are named Jordan. One is Jordan Love. The other one is Jordan Stoltz. He's joining. He won speed skating Olympics. So kudos to them. And then I will also say kudos to the Wisconsin women's hockey program for winning national championship. They've been in the last 4 straight. They've won 3 of the last 4. The one that they didn't win, they actually took second place. But also 4 of the women that were on the Wisconsin Badgers hockey team that won the NC2A Frozen tournament this last weekend also won Olympic gold. So kudos to them. Within 2 months, they won USA Olympic gold and the NC2A hockey championship.
Quick question: does Mark Johnson still coach them?
He does, and he's
1980
got a
Miracle, nice.
percentage of 818.
Wow, that's
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, man, he's lived a charmed life. I mean, to go from that now he's this was an NHL player for a while, and now he's
I think
dominating.
6
on the
years
college-
he's been coaching them.
Yeah, I know, and he was doing it for a while. I wasn't sure he was still there, but that's great to hear.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, go ahead, Cody, your town. What you got going out there? SoCal, wherever you're at.
I mean, just got back from vacation, so I mean, Anaheim is where I'm originally from. I'm an Orange County kid. I mean, my Ducks are in first place. And I'm loving everything right now, even though we have a minus goal differential, but our defense is just crap right now. But we're scoring goals, something I haven't seen this team do in years. I'm loving seeing this, and it's so great seeing Anaheim flourish like this because I feel like it's so much. I feel like hockey's better when Anaheim's competing in the playoffs. Just we have so many good rivalries in the playoffs with the Red Wings, with the Kings, Predators, Blackhawks. It's always good playoff series whenever Anaheim's in. I feel like they always compete pretty well. And I mean, as what Connor McDavid, it's a pillow fight in the Pacific Division right now. But I feel like the Ducks have a chance to at least get to the Western Conference Final with who they have to face. So I think there's a chance. So I'm happy about that.
Okay. Sebastian, what's going on in your town?
I'm going to talk about the 76ers with the NBA playoffs coming around like pretty soon. They're in the 7th seed right now. I'm pretty sure their record is 40-33. Not the greatest, but they're in like 7th seed trying to sneak in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure tonight Joel Embiid and both Paul George both returned. I think Joel Embiid had 35 points and Paul George had 28. So good reunition with them two. I think they just got the win over the Bulls. Very high scoring game, 157-137. So hopefully they can keep stacking the wins and get into the playoffs.
Okay, Tony, what's going on in your town?
Kind of similar situation. I'm in Orlando, so the Magic are faltering, but thank God the Milwaukee Bucks are so far behind they can't fall out of the play-in spot. But the bottom of the East is going to be pretty interesting because 5 through 10 is only separated by like 2.5 games with about 7 or 8 games left. So it's really going to be a fight to see who's playing in that play-in, and let's see what the Magic do. It's going to be iffy with the Magic going forward because the Jamal Mosley rumblings of him not being back next year, depending on how this works out, it's getting louder and louder. So let's see what happens with the Magic going forward for the rest of this season.
Okay, Cliff, what's going on in your town?
All right. Yeah, I'm originally from Long Island, and I'm a Mets fan, and I have done a lot of ruining. You know how you rue the day? I got a whole lot of ruining experience. Okay. And they made me rue again. They made me rue by not bringing back Alonso. They made me rue by bringing in Marcus Semien. And when I see Marcus Semien, I'm having flashbacks of Carlos Baerga and Roberto Alomar and Willie Randolph. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. And then we've got Sean Manaea. We've got he's good. He's going to be great. He had a good half season, and now he's out of the rotation. It's not going to be good. They're going to spend all that money. It's not going to be good. And it's bad. I'm thinking bad things about this season, and but that's what's on my mind right now.
Clint,
Okay,
I feel like you and I are best friends because our baseball teams just suck. But at least your team makes the playoffs.
Well, they try, but they make stupid decisions, and I remember them all.
I'm an Angels fan, Cliff. I don't feel bad for you.
Okay, we got the Yankees. Okay, we got the Yankees. We got to deal with.
I have the Dodgers. Are you kidding me?
We've had it a lot longer. That Dodger thing is very, very recent. We've had to deal with the Yankees since 1962, before I was born.
Right. So do I feel a little bit of a rivalry developing between Cody and Cliff? Because it's going to be.
No, I like it. I just don't feel bad for him because I'm an Angels fan.
Great stuff.
I feel like we've brewed a lot more than you have lately.
I can go forever and ever and ever. That should be a complete episode. Ruining, just we could just talk about rooting of all different sports of all, and just let it out. It would be great therapy for all of us. I think that could be an episode just with lots of different things over the years.
And well, as you develop, I'll let you create your own, and you can bring on anybody you want on this network because I got them all coming anyway. I'll tell you what's going on in my town, but it's a really good story. Welcome to the Shark Tank, people, because 100 consecutive wins at home. That's what Nova Southeastern University has had men's basketball, all thanks to Jim Crutchfield. This guy's in Division II in Davie, Florida. What a great job by Jim Crutchfield. I've met him once, a couple of times over at Nova Southeastern University. One of my projects this year is to try to get back with him in Davie. So great stuff for Jim Crutchfield and Nova Southeastern University. If you don't know much about them, Google them up. That's one heck of a program they have down here in suburban Fort Lauderdale and Davie. All right, let's go to parting shots. Candy, you lead off.
My parting shot has to do with the Milwaukee Bucks. You fired your coach Budenholzer. You fired other coaches too early. Now I don't. What are you doing with Doc Rivers? Because he's not getting the team motivated. You're not putting a good supporting cast around Giannis, and now Giannis looks like he's getting upset because now he's getting healthy, and you want to sit him for the last 11 games because you don't want to get him hurt because you're going to probably end up having to trade him because you probably are not going to keep him, even though he has said before that he wanted to stay. What are you doing, Milwaukee Bucks? You are wasting Giannis's prime years. You're not giving him a supporting cast, and I'm not convinced Doc Rivers is the coach for that team.
Okay, great stuff, Candy. All right, Cody.
Wait, what? So what is this parting shots thing exactly? It's I'm new to the Wednesday
Parting
night.
shots, whatever you want to talk about. What's on your mind? What do you want to get off your chest? It's open-ended.
Oh, I mean, speaking of Angels, I want Artie gone as the Angels owner. I am so tired of this guy ruining my baseball team. He's ruined it since 2004. He's ruined this team for me. I want him out. They finally got rid of John Carpino, or he retired or whatever. I'm tired of. I want my Angels to at least have a winning season and at least go for the playoffs. You have someone like Mike Trout, and he won't make the playoffs. They've been in the playoffs once, and they got swept. I'm sorry. I want Artie Moreno gone as an owner. MLB needs to do something about owners being like this because I feel like it's just ruining baseball in this case. So that's my parting shot.
There you go. Just gives you the opportunity to get things off your chest. Want everybody else keep it inside. Get it off your. That's a good segment, Candy. All right, and if you want to know where it actually came from, many years ago, it was the Sports Reporter. It was one of my favorite shows of all time with John Saunders, Dick Shepp, and I decided to bring it on here. My Sundays always used to be there, so I had to take the good of what there is out there. Parting shots is part of it. All right, Sebastian, what's your parting shot?
I'm going to go with, so I'm actually a Patriots fan. I've been ever since I started watching football, and one of the things I was a little frustrated about was releasing Stephon Diggs and not renewing his contract. Even though he's a little older, people would call him washed and stuff. He just came off an 1,000-yard season. I think he had around 6 or 8 touchdown receptions. But I feel like even the bigger part with him on that team was he was like a big leader, brought the spirit of the team really to drive them through those like tough games that they had. And it wasn't always pretty, but I feel like the team gelled really well together. And even like I'm hoping that the Patriots will maybe in the draft, but it's not looking like in the free agency they're going to get some weapons to help Drake May out because we're looking a little. We got Romeo Doubs, but I'm not sure if that's going to be a receiver one material type of receiver. So yeah,
Great job, Sebastian. Okay, Hollywood.
You're on
What's
mute,
your
Hollywood.
parting shot? You're muted, Hollywood.
Shoot. Sorry about that.
That's okay. What's your parting shot?
Parting shots. I know we normally, it's Mondays and it's going to be Saturdays, but man, it's opening day, man. It is a holiday for me when it comes to baseball. We have the Boards of Summer starting in the spring, so I'm excited to see it. And I think this race, MLB wise, is going to be more wide open than ever. So I think people should really lock in and enjoy the baseball that we have, because we may not have it next year. So let's enjoy what we got for these next 6 to 8 months, guys.
Okay, good. Okay, Cliff.
Okay. We're gonna go with hockey. All right. I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but the New York Islanders actually have a future with at least one player. They have one of the best defensemen in the league, and I'm shocked. Guy's name's Matthew Schaefer, first
Okay.
overall pick. He's breaking records other people have never broken, or he's like approaching records. You know, it hasn't been seen in a long time. He's broken Dennis Potvin's records, and that's like our apex. He's the Calder Trophy winner. He's Rookie of the Year. If anyone else gets picked, that's insane. But that's the one thing I have to look forward to with this team. They've gotten old. They made some stupid trades because they should have sold some guys, and they just collapsed. And it doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs. But I still got Matthew Schaefer to look, because we haven't had a good player quite like him in a very, very long time.
Okay, my parting shot goes down to Tallahassee as the Florida State Seminoles decline in NIT bid. FSU coach Luke Laux says, "We have tremendous respect for the NIT. I felt strongly that the players who carry this season, especially our seniors, deserved a voice in the decision. After everything they invested this year, it was important to me that they had ownership of how this season concluded. You know what? They should have gone to the NIT. They owe it to not only the players to go, but it's also an opportunity for some of these guys to get tape as well. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid, Coach Laux. And just like FSU football did, they declined a bowl game under Mike Norvell. If you decline a postseason bid of any kind, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. The basketball team should have gone to the NIT, and the football team should have gone to a bowl game. Sorry, FSU, you're not scoring any points on either front with me. Coach Luke Laux, now you have wait till next year, but this wasn't the way to do it. So, all right, with that said, that does it for this edition of the Sports Exchange. Before we cut out of here, give everybody an opportunity to let everybody know how to get a hold of them. So, Sebastian, lead off.
My Instagram, we're just shouting out. What are we doing? Just shouting out Instagram.
Let everybody know how to get a hold of you.
All right, you can get a hold of me on Instagram. It's at Sebastian.Williams9. That's usually what I'm on. My Twitter for football recruiting, lacrosse recruiting, like information, it's at all uppercase Sebastian _9 and then _W. And that's really it.
Okay. Hollywood, you know the drill. Hollywood.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was following
calling by a
you.
nickname. That's okay.
Talking Game 1 on all social media. YouTube, Tony Talking Game. We go live every Wednesday. We got episodes. I'm always posting on social media 2, 3, 4, depending on the day, times a day. So make sure y'all follow me there.
Okay, Cliff.
I'm old. I just do Facebook, Cliff Neal, right there on my name, and you can see me here on Wednesdays, and you can hear my input on sports.
Boy, yeah, we love having you on there. Mark, you've been a great addition. Everybody on here is actually probably really new to this whole program. That's what we try to do to this Wednesday night show, is definitely out there and bring in some new faces. All new faces are blending in real well. Cody, go ahead.
You can follow my dad and I. It's a father-son hockey podcast. We do the Ducks and LA Kings. We go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. This week we're going to do it a little earlier because the Ducks actually have a watch party in Anaheim that starts and the game starts at 12:30. So we're going to finish, head over there. But yeah, you can follow us on social media and all podcast platforms and YouTube and Twitch at Royally Quacked. We just had a great interview podcast with Daryl Evans from the Kings. I highly recommend it. He talks about, him scoring the Miracle of Manchester goal. And I didn't know this, but he skates with no laces on his skates. So, I mean, just go check it out. it was so much fun just talking to him. He said he spent 2 hours with us and he was on the road in New York. So I give it a listen. It was so much fun talking with him.
Cody, when you talk about your show on Saturday mornings, what time zone is it?
Pacific time. Remember, I'm West Coast. So I always forget that. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. Katie, make sure you're reminded. And by the way,
I'm not
Cody
waking up at 6 a.m. to do a live stream. You'll see a whole different face on me.
Yeah, well, at 6 in the morning, a lot of people see the whole different face on me. Although I usually get up at 2, 3 in the morning, so it's not a big deal. By then, I've had 1 or 2 liters of Diet Coke or Diet Mountain Dew, and then you see what happens after that. But Cody also joins me in Sports Rep on Thursday as well. We either talk hockey or we talk soccer, depending on what happens. We average probably about 2 and 2 or 3 and 1. But either way, Cody, Mike Santos, and I, we've really taken an interest in soccer. Now we have the right tag team between Dennis Marook and now Dave Bradley to bring it to you as well. All right, Candy, take us the rest of the way.
South Florida Tribune Publishing Company published a book, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is written by our host, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth Morganroth. Talks about his 40-plus years in the media business and how it has evolved. Old school media versus new school media. If you remember Muhammad Ali, Scott's got a picture with him in there. If you know Tommy Lasorda, Scott's got a picture in there with him as well. The Rocky, go check it out. There's a picture of him in there too. The real Rocky. Buy the book, look at the pictures, read all the stories, or if you're into listening, the audio book, that's out there as well. You just don't get the pictures, unfortunately. But it's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content, so go check it out. If you'd like to listen to podcasts, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. If you want to be a guest or have topic ideas or want to be a sponsor or advertise, you can email us at southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Last but not least, if you see the red subscribe button in that lower right-hand corner, that means you have not yet subscribed to our channel. What are you waiting for? Just click it, like us, share us, and then tell all your friends and family, and turn on the notifications. Monday nights we talk baseball. Tuesday nights we talk football. Wednesday nights preceding this was the Motor City Madmouth Show, which was a show that Scott and Steve Ballesteri do. Great show. You never know what topics are going to be on that show. And I mean, you literally do not know what the topics are going to be. But they have great chemistry together, so definitely go check that out. Obviously, we just did Sports Exchange. Tomorrow night on Sports Wrap, either soccer or hockey, depending on who's all in the guest pool. And then at 9:30, typically on Thursday nights, you can come over to what Scott affectionately calls the Country Club. I call it my Fire Up Show, and that's where I host a show on our network. So we talk primarily football, but we talk all sports. So check that out. One last thing, on Tuesday nights, 6:30, you can find me on the Chicks podcast, where we now have 4 chicks. They started out as 3. I was the 4th, and now we have a 5th chick, and we talk sports on the Chicks podcast, 7:30 Eastern, Tuesday nights. Back to you, Scott.
All right, Candy, well done. Great crew tonight. Actually, it was so good about the crews. Everybody's new. We had Marky Bilson just began with us. Cody obviously is now joining us as well on Wednesday night. I have on Wednesday and Thursday. He's great on both. Wherever Cody goes, he's fantastic. And now I got a new diamond in the rough, and Sebastian Williams. Talk about a first great act. This guy's going to be unbelievable. Looking forward to working with him. And Hollywood, Tony, what can I say, Tony? You get better with every cotton picking show in Cliff. And I enjoy your candor, even if I have to yell at you and tell you what I'm complimenting you as well. But it's all in love, my man. You know it. Okay. So he can handle it. Of course, Marky Bilson is just Marky Bilson. So he's awesome. So glad we have pretty much a new group here on the Sports Exchange. Looking forward to seeing this group develop as a team. And that does it for us tonight here on the Sports Exchange. So on behalf of Marky Bilson, Andy Ebling, Cody Spink, right?
Spink.
That's late. And Sebastian Williams, Hollywood, Tony, and Cliff Neal. My name is Scott Morgan, Rock Motor City Man. I'll thank you for joining us on this edition of the Sports Exchange. We will see you next Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Brand new set of topics, and I'm looking forward to seeing this group develop as a team. It's going to be unbelievable. Enjoy this group. They are awesome. Get used to all of us together. It is great stuff. All right, good night, everybody. And we'll be on for 2 shows tomorrow night on the network. Good night, everybody.
Peace. All right, I got cut out.